Good afternoon, sir. I'm here to interview you on technology and computer science because that is the field I'd like to pursue.
Okay, go ahead.
And
It'd be
I've
my
heard that
pleasure.
you work within technology. So, first question: how long have you been working with technology?
I've been working as a business technology instructor for 25 years at Hartnell
25
now.
years. That's a long time.
It's a long time and it's evolved. It's very different than when I started. As you know, as we just spoke about a few minutes ago, it's a different world now.
Yep, especially with all the AI and everything.
Yes, AI is it's equally as promising as it is a concern. So we're kind of still towing the line between what it's going to what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. But like I mentioned to you earlier, we as instructors are starting to use AI as a support tool, as a support system. It's fantastic if you've done it right. We're not looking, like I mentioned to you, we're not looking to copy uh, or how can I say, not just to copy paste ideas. We're looking to formulate or generate ideas that we may not be able, that we may not have thought of. And our job is to go expand on those ideas. So it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much education did you have to endure in order to become a technology teacher?
So I'm a business, and I know you're interested in the CS3 program. I'm a business tech instructor. So I have a business degree and a master's in education. Uh, but I had been working in technology so long that Hartnell, uh, back in 2000, 2001, if you had 4 to 5 years of experience, you could teach part-time. Now it's 10 years, I believe, and even in that case, in some cases you still need your master's. So um, what it takes now to become a technology instructor, I mean a computer programmer, is of course uh, you'll need a degree in computer science, which is what you're trying to achieve, right? I'm just one of those anomalies that I happen to be in business. I knew a little bit about technology. I was more geared towards the application side, my operating systems, application software like Microsoft Office. Now it's changed because now I also teach cloud computing, which is kind of the same idea, but there are, as you know, differences when you work on a cloud-based network than if you're working on a local area network. So my job has expanded in that sense that we need to make sure that students understand how to get a cloud-based system to talk to a local area network or a standalone. Does that make sense?
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, it's just, but to become a, you need a computer science. As far as I know, you need a computer science degree.
And from what I've heard, it's a bachelor's or a master's in order to get somewhere.
Well, correct. Now, I'm sure you're going to ask me about CS3. Um, there are people. I tell my students with a grain of salt that are able to self-teach. They get Google certified. I don't recommend it because you have to have a unless you have a real high level of discipline and you can curate the courses you want to learn and discipline above all, it's going to be difficult. Whereas CSN3, for instance, is very structured and it offers you a quick exit. Usually in 3 years, you're able to get into computer engineering field, which is fantastic. The money's good. From what I understand, students who've exited the program are feel a great sense of fulfillment. Um, they are highly sought out by a lot of local companies and of course companies from Silicon Valley. So I think it's a good deal, to be honest with you. But it's intense. It's an intense program.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've been aware or somewhat aware that it's going to be intense since I was like little. I've been wanting to pursue this field since I was around 10 years old.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I've kind of had that. There's some times where I lost focus for a little bit, but I've always had that vision of computer science is the goal.
Right. No, good for you. I hope. I wish you well on your endeavor.
Thank you. What are the pros and cons of this kind of work? Not just computer science, just technology in general.
I've got a few. Okay. The pros are. I'll start with the pros. Let's start with all the good stuff. Okay. The most obvious one is the money is very good for most people. That I've heard that the average computer science graduate is making at least 55K in the first year, but it's much higher. And I've heard of some people starting in the mid 60s to low 70s if you're lucky. Not everyone, but even if you're in the low 50s, high 40s, that's a good start. Most degrees can't say the same, and the vertical opportunities are pretty tremendous. So another pro is that it allows you, as you know, to work in a lot of these companies to work remotely. I personally have a relative who is a computer science engineer, and he hasn't stepped foot in an office in 7 years, and he makes generous amounts of money. They don't all do that. There's it's starting to shift. A lot of companies in Silicon Valley, Google included, are asking that their engineers be more present in their facilities. There's something about to be said about synergy. When you have engineers with similar ideas converge and share a same space, something about Zoom or Google Meet that just can't quite do it. So it's starting to shift a little bit. But you can still work at home. So the money's great. Um, it gives you a lot of flexibility. I think it also gives you an opportunity, in my opinion, to delve into several fields. It's not just computer science. If you're a computer science engineer, manufacturing can be the ticket. In the health field, and you go work for a hospital. I mean, if you work in the pharmaceutical field, I mean, it's just the possibilities are, I'm going to say, close to endless, right? Because cybersecurity, for instance, is becoming a booming business. If you're in the business of cybersecurity, in my opinion, your future is secure for maybe the next 20 to 25 years, at least until the robots take over, right?
Yeah.
But I'm joking. But yeah, I think cybersecurity is going to be one of those fields that is going to be highly sought after because there's a lot of evil out there, and a lot of people hacking into system, and that's why we have all those data breaches that we get notified about all the time. But so those are the pros: the money, versatility, flexibility. The cons are that the workload can also be heavy, right? You're constantly having to update and learn either new languages, new processes. You have to really be you cannot leave I know this for a fact. You can't leave the computer engineering field for say 6 months and come back and say, hey, everything's the same. You lose out in 5 to 6 months, something major has shifted. It requires constant updating on your part, which is stressful. Just like a doctor has to constantly keep updated on his methodology. Computer engineers the same are pretty much the same. There might be a new computer language that you have to learn, so it's intense. The hours are usually very, from what I know from people that I speak with, the hours are very long. And another con, if you will, is you're inside a lot. You're not if you're an outdoorsy person, you like to be socializing out there with the bunch, it's not really for you. But if you're very self-driven, you're very methodical. You kind of if you're a person that's very private, um, you will have to collaborate. You have to have that collaborative mentality, but not so much as a salesman, for instance, right? A salesman has to be much more open. But the con, if you will, if you want to see it that way, is that you're enclosed while you're in front of a machine sometimes 16 hours a day, and you have to be okay with that. A lot of people don't like that. But if you have that discipline and you have that love for for solving problems. Oh, looks like it ended. No. Oh, if you have that love for solving problems and attacking them full on, it's a very exciting field from what I understand. So yeah.
All right. What type of person would be suited to computer science as a career?
A problem solver, like I just mentioned a second ago. You have to be a problem solver. If you're not good if you don't like the idea of, even though this is a really light analogy, but if you're not a puzzle person, computer programming may not be for you. If you like solving, difficult tasks and finding different ways to make them, if you find a solution, for instance, a computer programmer may come up with two or three different solutions to make it more efficient. You have to be open to failure and revisiting and perfection. That's a computer programmer. When you release a program, it has to be near perfect or it's going to crash or you're going to have issues, right? So you have a lot of people depend on you. If you're, for example, maybe you're managing a hospital system, and if you come up with a new patch for a program that they use daily, and that patch doesn't work, people might get injured, people might get sick. So it's a lot of responsibility, right? So the type of person that enters that field, in my opinion, I'm not an expert, would have to be a problem solver and would have to be very, what's the word? Would have to be comfortable with the idea of attacking a problem from a sequential standpoint. You have to understand this has, it's an algorithm. This has to happen for that to happen. If not, come back, try this. And there's a certain sequence, and that's what an algorithm is. And so you have to be very uh, open to the idea that you have to attack very complex problems, right?
Right.
Yeah. And if that might be you, if you're a problem solver, you like puzzles, you like taking those things on, it's very exciting.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
No, nothing else. I think that was it. It was nice
Okay.
meeting you.
It's a
Really good
pleasure.
interview.
Cash, good luck. I hope you like it. It's a great program.
Thank you, Mr.
Campos.
Campos. Yep.
All right, Cash. It's a pleasure to meet you.
All right.